Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. The fixtures have been announced. The new season is now not a million miles away and we cannot wait. I've been fortunate enough to be joined by my dear friend, Jack D. Thank you very much for this. You may recognise us from these boards behind. We were the guys who were behind the Chelsea stunt at Arsenal.
Remember, it wasn't us. Jose and Fabregas.
Oh yeah, it wasn't us. It was Mourinho and Fabregas. Don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. We have locked horns this morning, and we spent a lot of time deliberating over the fixtures, and we have basically managed to nail it down to 5 key fixtures this season that will define Chelsea's position come the end of the season. We think that these 5 fixtures, if things go well in these 5 fixtures, we will reign supreme. So we're going to talk them through now, and you can mark these fixtures off on your fixture list. And if these fixtures all go to plan, Chelsea will be champions. That is a fact, correct?
Correct.
Right. I suppose the obvious place to start and the most exciting is the second game of the season, our first away game, and that's a trip to the Etihad. How do you feel?
Big game against Man City, and one that I think we should be going for the juggler on.
Yeah.
I know, let's set our stall out early. Let's get 3 points on our nearest and closest rivals, I think, which City will turn out to be. And it's got to be a big win, 3 points for the Blues.
Right, I disagree there. I actually disagree with you, Jack, because I think that it's very important to keep our cards close to our chest. I think that if we can go into this fixture and simply not lose it, that is a positive result. Any result in this game that isn't a Chelsea defeat is a good result. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We can win the league, and a point away at City, in my opinion, is a good result. But you think that we should effectively wipe out their title charge on day 2 of the
Day 2, yeah. Let's not give them an inch. We saw last season that if you get a good start, we got out the blocks really, really rapidly last year.
Yeah.
And, if you get those early wins under the belt, then, the season's half won.
Yeah.
Before you know where you are. So for me, I'd go all out. I wouldn't play defensive, and I would be looking to, get one up on them straight away.
Understood. So how seriously are you taking Manchester City's title charge this season?
Very seriously. I actually think they're the closest rivals that we're going to have in terms of getting the title.
See, that's really interesting. Guys, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts here. Who do you think, assuming that you all think Chelsea are going to win the league, who do you think is going to finish second? Who are our major rivals for this league? I actually disagree with Jack. We'll come on to who I think later. But Jack, you're going to stick with Manchester City for second spot?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with City. I think especially if if they can get a few more acquisitions in. They've been sniffing around Pogba. Him in a Man City shirt sounds a bit scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Aguero, as ever, is always a surefire winner for banging some goals in. So,
and if they replace Navas with somebody like Raheem Sterling, which is looking likely, that's a terrifying thought. Because regardless of what you think of him as a man, he is a fantastic football player.
Yeah, he is. So I think they're the ones to watch. A nice early win for us.
And you're going for a win. I think anything other than a defeat will do there. Moving on to the next fixture for your calendar, Newcastle away. It's a huge fixture. We have an appalling record there, and in particular, actually, Jose Mourinho has an appalling record there. It's a slightly clouded record because there was one I can remember going up there over a decade ago now, and we had actually won the league. We drew the game 1-1. If I remember rightly, I think Damien Duff might have scored, but Laurent Robert scored for them as well. If I remember rightly, but. We went up there and we played them last day of the season and we'd beaten everyone that year. Aside from the City defeat, we'd beaten everybody. So there's no reason why we wouldn't have won if we needed to. But we didn't win. The league was already won, but we didn't win the fixture. And as a result, Mourinho has never won at St James's Park, I think. So we have to put that right this year.
Yeah, as you say, been a bit of a bogey team for us over the years. And, if they sign maybe a Charlie Austin, a new number 9, then Newcastle's fortress.
Charlie Austin, thank you.
I would love us to have Charlie Austin. But if I was Charlie Austin, I'd be saying to myself, maybe I should go and be the new number 9 at Newcastle rather than
football with
sitting on the bench
with
at Chelsea.
England, the championships for England next year as well. He needs to be playing football.
Yeah.
But Newcastle away, if we can get a result here, and by result I actually mean 3 points only.
Yeah.
Anything other than that is not good enough. But if we go to St James's Park, get a result, that is 3 points bonus to what we had last year. Considering that we won the league pretty comprehensively last year, a win at Newcastle really would set the tone because it would be a bonus 3 points, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
Do you think we can do it? Do you think that we've got it in us to win there? Can Mourinho overturn this hoodoo?
Yeah, I think they're the only team that he seems to have a hoodoo over, and I've got faith in Jose to turn it round. They narrowly avoided relegation last year, so I don't know why we're scared of them. Basically, we should be going up there, looking to wipe the floor with them, and move on to the next game.
Can't argue with that. I absolutely agree. Moving on now. This is where it gets really exciting. The lull between Christmas and New Year. Chelsea play Manchester United. Manchester United away in December. I can't wait to be coming out of that ground with 3 points. It's going to be bedlam. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But do you think we'll be coming out of that ground with 3 points?
Yes. As you know, Rory, I'm never going to
Jack
go
D.
against the Blues. But I think we need to set ourselves up for that game. So we've got the Christmas cluster, Leicester, Sunderland, and Watford in the build-up to that game. Now they're 3 easily winnable games. If we can take 9 points from those 3, we play Man United. I think it's the 28th or something. Yeah. So if we've got 9 points over that period before that game, I think that's what we'll be looking for. Go in there with a positive attitude.
Okay, so you're slightly more. This is the slightly more realist Jack D coming out.
Well, from time to time, I might give him a glimpse.
So you think lay the foundations, make sure that you take 9 points off of what you see as winnable fixtures on the build-up to the huge game against United, and then potentially a draw isn't such a disaster.
No, I agree with you that the United game is a pivotal game, and I think. Again, we've got to be looking for the 3 points. I think we always have to look for the 3 points in every game we go into. I'm just saying to take the heat off a little bit.
Make sure that you've got 9 points in the foundations.
Exactly right.
Understood. See, now this is. I mentioned earlier that I don't agree with Jack as to who our major challenges are. I think our major challenges for this season's Premier League are Manchester United. I just think that they are so flush, and by that I mean for cash. They can pretty much go out and buy anyone they want, with the exceptions of the obvious Messi, Ronaldo. They can basically write a cheque for anybody, and they're in a far more privileged position than Chelsea with these FFP laws. And I just think that if Van Gaal gets it right, they are a genuine threat, and I'm very, very worried. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, the fixture computer hasn't been that hostile to United.
No.
And I think it's from April, they don't play anybody. I think for the last 7, I think they play Manchester City 8 games from the end of the season. And for the next 7 games, they basically don't play anybody. They can take maximum points from the final 7 games, which is enormous. It's enormous. And as a result, if they're in touching distance of whoever's top, say we're top and they're 5 points behind, if they can win their final 7 games, they will believe that they can win the league. So as a result, I'm coming onto your side of the fence, Jack. I think that we need to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford over Christmas. We need to have a gap going into those final 7 games because our final 7 games aren't that generous.
No, I mean, their final running looks like a return to the old Fergie days, doesn't it? He's been having a word with some of his pals and people have been doing him a favour. That's what I think, anyway. Yeah,
it certainly looks that way. So the next crunch game, we're at the Emirates on the 23rd of January.
Yeah, big game.
This is make or break, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wenger has never ever beaten Mourinho. He's going to have a minimum of 3 chances to do it this season, starting the Charity Shield and then the 2 league games. I don't think he's going to do it. I think that we will beat Arsenal on the 23rd of January.
I agree.
I really do. I just think, don't get me wrong, I think that Arsenal have it in them. They have the minerals to launch a very sustained and serious title challenge this season. However, I think the way that they can do that is if they sign a minimum of 3 class acts. Yeah. One of them being Petr Cech. Please let's not aid them in this. But if they were to, I don't think that they'll sign 3, and therefore I think that they will fall just short again.
Yeah, I agree. I think Arsenal are going to be very dangerous this campaign, but I think Mourinho's got the edge tactically. Wenger's psychologically damaged after a year. All over these years he's been second best to Jose. I think
it's like that kid at school. Do you remember when you were at school and you used to play against a bloke who was better than you at football? If you play against him now, 20 years later or whatever, he's still better than you at football, and he isn't really. It's just that he's got it in. He's got you. And
but let's not talk about when you went to school, yeah.
But right, so now finally, this is where it could be won. This is where it could be lifted. It's at Stamford Bridge, and it's against the famous Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes, I mean, if we can win the league against Spurs in our own back garden,
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better a better team to win it against, really.
Tottenham have never won at Stamford Bridge in my lifetime. Why on earth are they going to start now? So I think beating Tottenham, I feel like we've in the past been slightly shortchanged with where we've won the league. I've always been very envious of Arsenal, for example.
Yeah.
Arsenal have won the league at Anfield, they've won the league at White Hart Lane a couple of times, which is obviously enormous for them. We've won the league at Bolton, and as magical and dazzling as that was, it's still the Reebok, isn't it? Like, it's not a rival, and they're not an enormous football club. So
well, you'll be getting some.
Yes, I know Bolton trolling.
Yeah.
But I think Bolton fans would agree with the two things I said. They're not a rival and they're not an enormous football club.
Yeah.
Arsenal have done it everywhere. I think that winning it at home to Tottenham would actually be that. Would actually be in the sort of grandest of brackets.
Yes, absolutely. And we've got to, remind them after their 5-1.
Yes, 5-3 on New Year's Day.
5-3 defeat, sorry, New Year's Day.
Well, we did remind them in a cup final, but it's nice to hammer the point home.
It's always good to remind Tottenham where they are.
Yeah, know your place. So, I think that we have concluded that our fixtures are Manchester City, Newcastle, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur. If those 5 games go as we have predicted and hope they will, Chelsea will be champions and we will sing this song all night. I think that's everything covered. So what I need to know is, guys, in your opinion, have we highlighted the big fixtures? Do you agree with our selections, or do you think we've missed anybody out? Any dates that you think we should have covered here? And is there any teams that you think could be a surprise? Is there anybody we have missed out? So do let us know. Please comment and keep us in the loop. And subscribe if you haven't done it already. Come on, you Blues, it's nearly upon us.
Should have sold Kevin De Bruyne. Do you want Kevin De Bruyne
People
back?
are so supportive of him, but in the comments, I was on the comments today for a fair while.